So the Stud Budz have been like big. They've been huge. I think were they on the cover of Slam magazine or something? Like Port and I wanted to go on their show. Like they were big, especially around All-Star break with that stream. Some of their streams obviously did really well. Others kind of didn't at the start. And by All-Star break, out of nowhere, we were seeing like the Stud Budz getting 10,000 concurrent viewers on stream, which was crazy. I think they had like 2,000 when they were in the room asleep. They were just asleep and they kept the stream running, which was impressive. But so they have been saying here, this is what it's all about. They were talking about React, the new CBA, and let's take a listen to what they have said. Officially, anyway.
Do y'all understand the history that just happened today, bro? We finna be millionaires, bro.
History.
The first millionaires in our families, bro.
The biggest jump in all of professional sports.
All the professional
Girls.
sports.
I do want to say this, that they already were going to be making basically the same amount, and they were already having the biggest jump in the history of professional sports, and they called it a slap in the face 3 weeks ago. They called it a slap in the face. They said the proposals weren't good. They were going to be in the exact same positions they were in. But I'm happy. I'm happy when it all said and done that they're celebrating the wins. But like people are like, oh, the WNBA players stood on business. So the WNBA players started, like the league started off by wanting to give the players, I think, 5 million salary cap. And the players wanted a 13 million salary cap and 40% of gross revenue. The league wanted a net revenue model equivalent to 15% of gross revenue. The league went up 2 million in salary cap and 5% or 4% in gross revenue. 3% in gross revenue, but they did bring a gross revenue system, which is in and around what I expected the league to accept. And the players went down 22% down in gross revenue from their initial goals and nearly half their salary cap. So I'm like, they won. Everything was a win. But it's like I'm glad they're celebrating it now, but it's funny because basically the same numbers were there 2 weeks ago and people were calling it a slap in the face. It's very clear with Courtney Williams and Tisha Heidemann were one of the people that were on the side of, we need to fucking play.
Men, boys, women, whatever.
Like, this is historical, bro. This is a historical day, bro. Historical.
Turn up.
But yeah, one of the other things that I find hilarious is people are like, oh, they're why are they saying this like they're gonna get a max contract? They're going to be millionaires. I saw a bunch of people being like, oh, I saw someone actually say that Courtney Williams and Tisha Heidemann, what are they talking? They're gonna be out of the league. And I'm like, Courtney Williams, who was an all-star last year. She was an all-star. Courtney Williams is making $750K minimum next year. Tisha Heidemann, she was definitely on the higher end. I think she made like 2/3 of a max last year. She's not making $750K, where she might make $500K. She was seen as one of the best bench players in the entire league. She was seen as one of the best bench players in the entire WNBA. So Heidemann is absolutely gonna be making money. He was gonna be making she was gonna be making money. And people saying, oh, they're gonna be millionaires. Yeah, no shit, they're gonna be millionaires. They lost 4 more years, which they should, in the league. They're already doing okay. But like, if they last 4 more years in the league, if Courtney Williams lost 2 more years in the league, after tax she'll have $1 million. Especially when the rev split comes in. When the 20% rev split comes in, you're not making $500,000 on the 20% rev split, but you want to make $100K on the 20% rev split. So you're looking now at a situation where it's like, okay, shit, we might be making $800K a year. And if you're making $800K a year and you last 4 years, like you're making $3.2 million? If you last 4 years, $800K, it's $3.2 million. Let's just say, for argument's sake, Courtney Williams averages $600K for 4 years, which is about league average. Even though she's an all-star, she'll make more than that. $600K for 4 years is $2.4 million. plus whatever the rev split is. And let's just say $2.4 million is, you have that. And by the way, the unrivaled numbers were absolutely fake. They have to be. The way these players are celebrating, 2 players that were in unrivaled, when Alex Basil basically came out and said the players are getting paid an average of $500,000 each to play in unrivaled, they wouldn't be celebrating like this when Natisha Heidemann is at about $500,000 each, about $500,000 player. Courtney Williams is about a 700,000 player-ish. They wouldn't, like, the reaction wouldn't be like this. We're about to be millionaires. Like, because apparently, according to Alex Basil, players in Unrivaled get paid $500,000. And that this current WNBA CBA is actually not more money than Unrivaled. They're talking about how historic it is. And the CEO of Unrivaled put out numbers to say, actually, this isn't as much as us. 2 Unrivaled players are calling this historic. Let's be real. Let's be completely real. But, like, the players in Unrivaled are definitely making 6 figures. But maybe the average is that, but maybe fucking Stewie and Fee get $5 million each or something. But yeah, they are going to be millionaires. I'm shocked Courtney Williams is not already a millionaire. Again, if you take into account the fact that the rumored Unrivaled payment was $500,000. If she made $500,000 one year and $250,000 the next year in Unrivaled, based on their numbers with the averages, she makes $750K. Plus the last 2 years of her WNBA contract, she'll have made $1 million in just the last 2 years. She'd made $1 million in just the last 2 years. Obviously, even if you section off 50% for tax, it goes to $500,000, and then you take all the other years in her career, like, she's made the guts to $2 million in her career. So, like, people are in like Courtney Williams wouldn't be a millionaire. Yeah, she's already probably this close to being a millionaire. Let's be completely real. Like, they're celebrating that they're going to be millionaires. Every player in this league every vet in this league is going to be a millionaire. If you last 10 years in this league, especially with the way things are going, if you last play this entire CBA, by the way, if you play the 7 years of this CBA and you're not a dumbass with your money, you're going to be a millionaire. Like, it is what it is. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. Obviously, shout out to the Stud Budz. Shout out to the WNBA players making their money. Shout out to them. At the end of the day, I always said that whatever they believe they deserve, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you're able to bargain for. And I feel like the money and the rev split that they got was probably, with the amount of time, was definitely on the far end of what they were able to bargain for. And I think what my prediction was is that what I think the players could get, they pretty much got to what they could get. And I thought if they got any lower, the owners were screwing them. I thought if they went $6 million salary cap, or I don't think the owners necessarily screwing them with net rev split, but it just added risks. Added extra risks. But I do think anything under $7 million, they were getting screwed, and they got it to a $7 million salary cap. So I think they got a good deal. I think anything was a good deal, but like, I think this is going to be one of those negotiations where both sides feel like they got screwed a little bit, which is honestly a perfect negotiation, to be honest.